Welcome to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Ragucci, and this is Replay, Relive, and Reexperience, or as we like to call it, Re3s, where you guessed it, we do all three of those things to our favorite video game franchises. In this edition of Re3, we'll be replaying, reliving, and re-experiencing Bethesda Game Studios' Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion to celebrate the release of the new remastered version by Virtuos, as well as the anticipation of the Elder Scrolls VI in the future. Here with me, of course, as always, the Hero of Kvatch, Chris Trio.
Gooch, I closed 12 Oblivion gates before I came here, and I'm ready to party.
That sounds miserable.
It was, yeah. No, I didn't close that many, but I actually closed a few last night. And they do get a little repetitive, but we'll talk about that later.
We'll get to that point.
Yeah,
We'll get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Anthony Ragucci. Thank you for joining us. Just a little bit of housekeeping. Wanted to shout out Fingers, of course, for always doing our intros and outros for the show. I forgot to do it on our debut show. A lot of forgetting to talk about.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Well,
I know we did that with Matt with the hot takes, and then I was like, oh, fuck, we forgot to mention
and Fingers,
it.
he does good work for us every time when we do these, so we appreciate it.
So we're going to be covering... basically, again, if you didn't watch the first episode, our structure here is the main quest. So we're going to be talking about the Path of Dawn, which is the lead up to basically the Mythic Dawn quest, finding them, seeing Mankar Cameron for the first time, and then like the spies quest. We'll be using that as our structure, but we'll just be talking about what we've been doing in the game. So let's start off by doing that. What was going on between this episode and last? It's been a long time since we recorded, probably like a month and a week, which probably isn't the best for this show, but things got in the way. I feel like
it's tough.
I haven't said this to you, but we got to record these a little bit more often.
Well, and it's also, we just
had a lot. Yeah, go on.
And this was also just like it came out of nowhere too. Yeah, so it really was it was planned like within a month kind of, but then, just the way it is.
But yeah, what's been going on? I mean, just between like last episode and I guess starting the Path of Dawn, what did you get up to in Oblivion? Or I guess be more open-ended.
Mostly
like, I have a few opportunities to do that. So
yeah, I mean, for the most part, I just was working on a lot of the guilds. I went through and finished out a lot of the quests. I will admit, a lot of the questing is kind of getting kind of samey for me. I'm realizing, but it's a lot of fetchy, a lot of going into a lot of these same dungeons again. And I, of course, appreciate the facelift and everything looks great. But yeah, when I go into my 18th cave, I am just like, all right.
You just can't explore Cyrodiil like you do Skyrim. You can't go into every place and get this satisfaction of seeing something new.
And I would say even Skyrim has that issue to a degree. It's just this is a bit more noticeable just because it's an older game. Like, I do think in Skyrim you start to run into the same type of levels and dungeons and stuff like that, but there still is enough variety within those where it feels a bit more interesting for sure.
Yeah, it's tough to be like, I'm going to commit to a 3-4 alien ruin like 3 times between where I left and my destination. You know? It like really sucks my soul dry.
And they get confusing too. You get lost in them.
Going to that point of the Oblivion gates, I've done like maybe 5 or 6, and I just can't get myself to really like be into it. Like they're so like, I think Oblivion gates especially are so the same.
They do start
so
to
boring.
Repeat. Yeah, and I just speedrun them, Gooch. I literally go through. I don't really. At this point, I'm level like 26 or something.
Yeah, I'm like really.
Yeah.
29.
Yeah, so I think I'm close to that, but
you seem to be much farther in the game than me, though. That's why I
for sure, and I think I'm clearing. You might be clearing out more dungeons and stuff than me, maybe doing. Like, I
feel like I'm playing the game at a snail's pace. I'm trying to, I think Trio knows this, but I'm Elden Ring Night Rain came out. I've been playing that. I've been playing Clair Obscur. I'm trying to beat it, get it off my plate. Doom came out. There's just been like KCD. There's been like so much.
There's a lot.
And it's kind of made this podcast like playthrough a bit annoying because I'm like, dude, it's been so long since we recorded. Like Trio could have beat the game like 7 times over, and I'm kind of like sitting here doing the doc, and I'm like, fuck. I hope that's like not messing up the flow of the podcast because this is such a different kind of re3 than we've done before.
Right.
But
Yeah, and I think, all we can do is kind of play at the pace and figure it out. But you're right. It's when it's not as structured as this, or it's only as structured around like the main campaign. It's kind of easy to go off in different directions.
Like I think in a perfect world, but then we would have just been like, oh, we're gonna do the Thieves Guild this episode and talk about it. But then like your playthrough probably gets like me and Trio's playthroughs are like exactly the same. And
right.
There's almost too much structure.
Yeah, like part of me wanted to almost just do one episode and treat it almost as just like a review, but extended and kind of dive deeper into things. But then there is a lot to go into, so it's tough. It's tough.
This has been really difficult to navigate in terms of like how to do it.
Yeah.
Because there is so much, and I'm like, and then again, like Trio is ahead of me, and I'm like, fuck, like I wanted to have the Thieves Guild done for this episode. I'm still like a cat burglar. I'm on the quest to get Hieronymus Lex switched off or switched onto the ledger for Anvil, and I just went to Anvil for the first time. Like I've seen all the cities now, but I'm just like, holy shit! I'm like,
I think I just got the boots of Spring-Heeled Jack was the last thing that I did for that.
Yeah,
I have the Thieves Guild and the Fighters Guild left. That's it. All the other ones I'm finished.
Okay, yeah, and I've only done basically I've become a murderer in the Dark Brotherhood, so I was going by oh my god, the Inn
of Ill Omen.
The Inn of Ill Omen, yeah. I was going to say the Inn of Ill Omen Repute. I don't know why that was coming to my head. But yeah, I was like walking by, I did it, and like I have to now go to the Chadenhall Brotherhood Guild. Yeah, and it's been tough. It's been tough to sort of structure this podcast. So I'm not, as of right now, I don't think, again, not many things are being shadow dropped like this. But so I'm not really sure if we'd ever do anything like this again. But I guess it's a good test of the system and
absolutely
sort of experimenting with different things. But going back to my adventures, so before I did the Path of Dawn, pretty much, I came out of Cloud Ruler Temple and went to Bruma and did the quests around there. A Brotherhood Betrayal. There's a lot of betrayal oriented quests in Bruma where like people are fucking each other over. There's like the fake vampire thing.
Yeah.
The girl with the necklace and like the heist gone wrong, and now they're hiding out in Bruma. Doing some of the areas around there.
Bruma's, they have like you go after the one like opposite like mercenary group, right? Am I misremembering? Or is
that's Breville.
Breville, right?
Yeah, with the Blackwood Company.
Right,
that's in the Fighters Guild. Yeah. I did like Lifting the Veil, where you go to Pale Pass, which I thought was really interesting because it's like the only outdoor dungeon like in the game.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I did that earlier in the game.
It kind of reminds me of probably a pass of a similar name in Dawnguard.
Right.
And that, the big Falmer snow elf place, like when outside,
right,
it's like separate
it's almost
from Skyrim.
Yeah,
kind of reminded me of that.
I forgot about that area. Yeah, it's like its own little like open area, but it's not really that huge. Interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to remember, like, I gotta say, a lot of the quests and side quests, for the most part, kind of slipped to the back of my mind. They just were a lot of fetch, like I was saying, a lot of stuff like, go get this from the cave, or I left my book in this cave, can you go get it for me?
Did you do Hack Dirt?
I don't think I did. Which one's that again?
Hack Dirt is when, it's the Cthulhu town. The town that they're the deep ones.
Oh, no, I don't think I have.
Okay, so if you go to Coral, there's the general post is owned by an Argonian, and she has a daughter. Her daughter goes to Hack Dirt and never comes back.
That's not where you find Mehru's Razor, right?
No.
Okay.
I didn't do that quest yet. I don't know how you get that quest.
I've never done that. Someone told me
it's DLC.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's the only returning, well, not returning. It's a Daedric artifact that's a DLC.
Interesting. Yeah, because I guess
I don't know where you get
so there's
the
like I had someone, I guess, point out it's at like a fort, and they were like, "Hey, you should check out Fort whatever on your map." And it wasn't like a quest. It was just like he marked it. And I just went, and I happened to be in the area, and I went to it. And yeah, it's like a Mehru's Razor quest. Yeah. It's a whole big dungeon. You find all these different, like, they're like shadow scales or something like that. No, I don't, it's not. That's the Brotherhood thing. Either way, it was really cool. And yeah, you get the Mehru's Razor by the end, and a really cool set of robes, actually.
Jumping ahead a little bit, I did all the Daedric shrines in anticipation for when you have to give him the items, because then he gives you a different line of dialogue for all the items and stuff. The Daedric quests I found very underwhelming. Most of them are, hey, I'm a Daedric prince. I have something wrong. Go do it. And it's pretty much just kill somebody or do something sort of fetch questy, come back, and here you go. I feel like in Skyrim, they're much more fleshed out to be a little bit more interesting experience.
I agree.
The Mafala one, I think that's what she's called. You go to like Arkvard's tower, and it's like this wizard's tower that's like half Oblivion Gate, half.
Oh, I did go to that one. Yeah, I did do that one.
I'm like, this is really interesting because this is a very unique dungeon.
I've never gotten that before. I've never seen that before.
I don't remember it from
you go through the
playing.
door and it's like you're in the Oblivion plane. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, but then there's like another one where it's like, yeah, you just got to go to this cave for Peria. You just got to go to this cave and kill these like people.
Right. There's
like,
another one.
It's very simple, and some of the rewards are pretty cool. Like there's some unique stuff, but like again, Umbra is great. I've been using Umbra for a while, and like all the armor is not better than like the Daedric set I have. I think I brought it up at the end of last week's episode where the scaling absolutely took
It's insane.
everything out of me. And I was just like, why is Daedric armor? I'm level 20. How is Daedric armor already like populating the world? Like,
well, and I think that's because, I mean, it's 30 levels max, right? Is how many you can get to in this.
that's it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No way.
So that's
oh my
why.
God.
Yeah,
you serious?
Yeah, so that's why, like, that's technically supposed to be like 20 is kind of late game. Like, you're supposed to be getting, that would almost be like level, I want to say like 70, like Skyrim is, I think, the idea.
I think it's very clear that like you're supposed to do the main story quest first.
Really? Why do you say that?
Because I feel like if the game scales like that, it just doesn't, if you're doing shit in between main story quests, it doesn't seem to be like correct.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know.
that's
I feel
sort
like
of the premise of my problem.
Yeah, and I think, the whole game just scales with you. So that presents its own problem in and of itself. So like everything you get to will always be the appropriate level. So I think it's almost made to just experience almost in any fashion you want. And to be able to play it in any fashion, like to not do all this stuff, get to the end, finally do the main quest and have it just be like cake and you just walk right through it. It still scales with you, which I don't necessarily love. I'm playing The Witcher 3 right now, and I love that I'm like level 13 and I go to an area and there's level 2 ghouls that I just slice with one slice. That's what I want. I don't want these worlds to scale with me like that. It's interesting they were doing that back this early. I really did not realize that. Even at the time, I just didn't have the lingo to even understand it. But yeah, I do think getting just back to the Oblivion Gates really quick, like I said, I speedrun them. I literally, there's certain
You
ones,
mentioned that, I think, in last episode.
it's so easy sometimes because like I just want to get the pearl and close it. So you can just run by everyone and just run up the tower and just grab the pearl and end it.
Yeah, it just seems, I'm like, there's so many enemies here. It just seems so daunting.
Even on some of them where like it's like the tower and it's up on the huge hill and you got to go through all the dungeons to get to it. No, you don't. You just jump up the side and then you just go right in. So there is stuff like that where it's pretty like avoidable in kind of a stupid way. Like you can,
and it's a shame like that's how you're doing it.
Right.
Obviously
I've gotten to that point.
Intended like that, but if you're like, I know towards the end of the game where you have to, I think it's Allies for Bruma or something like that, where you have to close a bunch of Oblivion Gates to get all the towns.
Right.
Like you have to do that. So I'm kind of just like anticipating that, and I'm like, the first few Oblivion Gates I found in the world I did, but I'm just like, I'm gonna kill myself if I keep doing this or keep going into every dungeon I see.
Especially if that's why I would kill myself if I was doing it that way. Like if I just went through and did all of the Oblivion Gates like as they were intended, I probably would get annoyed and just like be done with it. But no, I can just speed run them. So as I've been getting to them, I've been doing them for the most part. If I see it, I'm like, all right, I'll run into here. It takes me 2 minutes. I'll, like I said, speed run the dungeon, get to the top, take the thing out. And then, they start repeating. Like, there's one where it's like 2 towers that are connected by a bridge, and then you have to go up to the top of each tower, extend, like, hit a switch that extends the full bridge to the big tower. And I've done that probably 4 or 5 times. Yeah. So, and, that's part of the time. That's what they were dealing with. I understand there's limitations on the technology and the stuff of the time. So I think back in the day, honestly, though, if you gave me this, and you did, when I was playing this in 2008, and I was like, this is amazing. I'm going to do every single one of these dungeons. Like,
much different.
We are just much more treated. And savvy, exactly, at this time where it's different. And we experience different. I'm still getting the joy out of it, though, for sure.
Yeah. It's very funny. The achievements are really telling about how many people have stuck with this game beyond the first few quests.
Yeah.
Like, I'm only a cat burglar, and that was like a rare achievement unlock. I was like, that's crazy.
Well, and I'm wondering how, like, me and you, I know, at least me for sure, when I play a playthrough of this, like I'm gonna do every single thing. I'm doing every single quest line. I'm not like reserving the Thieves Guild for my sneaking whatever, even though I am sneaking this time. Like I'm not gonna reserve the Fighters Guild for my more fighty character. I'm just gonna go through and do everything. So I'm curious how many people play like that, but no, I agree. You know, there's still like we said before, this is still the same game. It looks way prettier.
Right.
And there's
not
a few
remake.
quality of life improvements. But having someone with Skyrim brain go back to this is probably, it's going to be interesting. And I don't mean Skyrim brain like derogatorily. It's just,
yes, you do.
You have, because I have Skyrim brain. I love Skyrim. It's just you're not going to have a lot of these certain quality of lives, and it's going to feel a little floaty and interesting in different ways.
Yeah, if it was a remake, these dungeons would not. This wouldn't be the case.
It would just be reworked in a different way. Yeah.
I'm interested to when we get to the end of the series and we look at the reviews. I want to see if anybody talks about like the dungeons a lot, because like that is really killing me, and I think that's really like the worst part about this playthrough is like these dungeons kind of just suck.
They just
like,
they get so repetitive,
uninteresting.
And again, I do think that exists more than you not that they're uninteresting
In Skyrim.
I think that exists more than you think in Skyrim. But I think that they use the tools of their time to make it more spiced up and at least give it some more variation than this.
I mean, I think what kills me with like with Skyrim is like the Draugr burrows, and, like, those dungeons.
The Falmer stuff too for me. Like
some it's like, oh my god,
another fucking Falmer
another
cave.
Dwemer ruin. Oh, Blackreach, great.
Literally, So again, I think that's a Bethesda problem, if you want to call it that, for sure, to a degree. And you even kind of see you definitely see that with Starfield, with the way they're using some of the same dungeons. They're doing the procedurally generated stuff. You know what I mean? So like it's just that is Bethesda's thing. I would hopefully love to see them add a bit more variety in Sky or in Elder Scrolls 6, but we'll see. It's just part of their game design, and you'll like that or hate that for sure. And it just is more clear at this time for sure by their technical limitations.
So let's jump into the main story. I'm sure I know I have some more notes on stuff I've been doing since the last time we recorded, but let's start the Path of Dawn. When we arrive at Cloud Ruler Temple, Martin is welcomed and hailed by the Blades as Emperor Martin Septim Dragonborn. They use that term a lot, which is so funny. When we first played this game, it meant nothing.
Didn't even think about it.
But now it's like in a total different context.
Right.
Cyrus mentions an emperor hasn't visited here in many years, which means Uriel didn't come here all that often, or at all. Martin gives a speech to the soldiers and speaks with you about the importance of recovering the Amulet of Kings. So the speech goes like this: Joffrey, all of you, I know you all expect me to be emperor. I'll do my best, but this is new to me. I'm not used to giving speeches, but I wanted you to know that I appreciate your welcome here. I hope I prove myself worthy of your loyalty in the coming days. That's it. Thank you. It reminds me a lot of Aragorn. In Lord of the Rings. Like, he is king, but at the beginning he's not. He doesn't feel like he is king, but at the end he really is king.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that
he's the guy who doesn't want it but needs to have it.
Right,
almost.
and I feel like Martin is like. I think in the last episode we talked, he was very quick to like, all right, here we go.
Like I'll trust the gods.
But like here, he's really like, okay, like I need to take this seriously. And I like how it's not like, I don't want to do it, like he is taking this very seriously.
He's taking it seriously, but I think you can also tell that he's being honest with them in the way of he's like, listen, I've never been a king. I've been a priest and like kind of a vagabond most of my life.
Yeah.
I'll do my best here, and I promise to do the best I can.
Martin turns to you and says, not much of a speech, was it? Didn't seem to bother them though. The Blade saluting me and hailing me as Martin Septim. I don't mean to sound ungrateful. I know I would be dead by now if it weren't for you. Thank you. But everyone suddenly expects me to know what to do, how to behave. They want an emperor to tell them what to do, and I haven't the faintest idea.
Exactly. Yeah.
We tell him we need to get the Amulet of Kings. Of course, the Amulet of Kings. So I can take it.
I think it's a direct quote. So he's like stammering.
Yes,
he's like,
yeah. I know it's a direct quote. It just was weird. Mm-hmm. I can take it to the Temple of the One and light the Dragonfires and stop the Oblivion invasion. I think we talked about this, but like a Septim having the Amulet of Kings enables the Dragonfires to be lit, which stops Mehrunes Dagon from entering Mundus.
It keeps Oblivion at bay, basically.
Yeah. So the fact that he doesn't have it is the reason why they can get into Mundus, why the Mythic Dawn are able to open the gates.
Right, and he talks about, like, earlier, he's like, they could get through like keyholes and stuff like that. You see your Daedric artifacts and things like that. But yeah, this was what the Dragonfires keep Oblivion at bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can say, and you will be the Emperor. The Emperor. That's an idea that will take some getting used to. In any case, we need the amulet first. Maybe Joffrey will know where to start. Talk to Joffrey, mention the Amulet of Kings. All practitioners of Daedric magic are familiar with the most impenetrable barrier between our world and Oblivion. What the Emperor told you implies that the amulet is key to the preservation of that barrier. What I saw at Kvatch, everything I know about Daedric magic says... what I saw at Kvatch, everything I know about Daedric magic says that such stable portals are impossible, yet those gates to Oblivion exist. The old rules no longer apply. Kvatch is only the beginning of what Mehrunes Dagon will do. If the amulet is truly the key to restoring the barriers between our world and Oblivion, you must waste no time recovering it. Okay, sorry, we're still talking to Martin. We mentioned Daedric magic to him. I haven't always been a priest. In my youth, I followed a different path. I know more than I want to about the seductive power of Daedric magic. We're going to talk about that later, but yeah, he has a past. I think we talked about this before. Let's just leave it at that. We talked to him about the Oblivion Gate, and he says something's changed to make these stable portals to Oblivion possible. Joffrey believes that the death of the Emperor and the darkening of the Dragonfires is the key. This is where we join the Blades, and we talk to Joffrey. Joffrey will offer you membership into the Blades. If you accept, you will be given the Akaviri Katana and access to beds, books, armor, and weapons inside the temple. After you make a decision about your membership, Joffrey will give you the next quest. But it's not necessary to join the Blades in order to continue the main quest, nor is this your only chance. If you later change your mind, you can just talk to Joffrey again and choose the topic to join the Blades, as long as Joffrey is still alive. He can die during the defense of Bruma or light the Dragonfires, at which point it becomes impossible to join the Blades, and his disposition towards you has to be 40 or higher. So that is interesting, because like, how many people do you think are going through the main story and not joining the Blades? It seems
Probably
like almost impossible.
Well, I would have assumed you have, that's just part of the story, like to join them and get the next quest. I didn't even realize that. That's interesting for sure.
And it seems kind of like silly. Like, why would you not?
Right.
It's kind of like I was kind of thinking about it in terms of like Skyrim when
killing Parthenax.
Yeah, it just seems like such a weird,
silly thing. Like, why would you do that? I don't know. I've never done the quest where you like side with them like that. Actually,
Blades,
I don't think I've ever tried that.
So Cloud Rule Temple is not the only place made available if you join the Blades. As a chapter house of the Order of Talos, Wayne and Pryor will become free to you as well. So let's give a little talk about the Blades. And kind of also what happens to them after this as well, because a lot changes when we go to Skyrim. So the origins of the Blades are there. The Akaviri Dragon Guard from the First Era. The Blades trace their origin back to them, a group of elite warriors from the continent of Akavir in 1E2703. The Akavir invaded Tamriel and were defeated by Reman Cyrodiil at the Battle of Pale Pass, which is what that quest I was mentioning earlier is about. After their defeat, the Akavir recognized Raymond as the Dragonborn and pledged loyalty to him. They became his bodyguards, enforcers, and eventually forming the Dragon Guard, a group dedicated to serving the Dragonborn Emperor and hunting dragons. So like after the Septims, the Medes, the people who take over the throne, are not Dragonborn Emperors.
Right. Yeah.
So like the Dragonborn ends. The Dragonborn Emperor ends here.
Right.
And I think that's like what gives way to like this prophetic Dragonborn that we see in Skyrim. Well, it's like a different type of Dragonborn.
Well, I think also the idea is they can shout. Like, I just don't think it's like told in this, but I think Martin can shout. Like, I think he is can. Like, he is a true just Dragonborn. And I think I think the idea was like this prophecy always existed about, Alduin coming back and just finally comes to fruition.
Right.
Far flung in the future. Yeah, later. Yeah. And basically the gods give the new Dragonborn. So, yeah.
Headquartered in place like Skyhaven Temple and Skyrim, they play a critical role in Reman Dynasty's expansion across Tamriel, known for their use of katanas and Akaviri armor. They maintained extensive records of dragon sightings and dragonborn individuals. The Dragon Guard diminished following the fall of the Riemann dynasty around 1E 2920, and without a dragonborn emperor to serve, their influence faded.
I do think like they're almost like I don't even know, like Asiatic, like inspiration.
Yeah,
is
the
like
Akavir.
It's very interesting. And I guess it makes sense with them being like dragon tied. Like it's like, I don't know.
There are dragon people in Akavir.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I wonder if we're ever going to see that.
But like even
continent.
Cloud Ruler Temple, like it
It's,
has
like,
like very
Asian.
Asian styled like roofs, like
Well,
that type of
Akavir is east.
east.
It's east of Tamriel.
I see. Huh.
Yeah, I wonder if like we're ever going to see that.
That is one thing I'm noticing much more in this game as a whole with the
wider world.
remaster, the wider world, and just also like how different each town kind of looks. Like, there's obviously like when you get down to Brazil, it's more swampy. There's pink. Brazil.
He said Brazil.
Oh, did I say Brazil? I thought I said Brazil. Either way,
maybe.
Brazil. When you get down to Brazil, no, it's yellow down here for some reason. No, when you get down to Brazil, like everything's kind of purple and it's like very swamp ridden. You get to Cheydinhal, it has a much different look. Like everything feels much more different than I realized. And I'm sure it was there in the original Oblivion, but the graphics couldn't make it as
Skyrim. That feel is very less so. Like some towns seem different, but it's snow cold.
For sure. I would say the biggest differences in those towns probably are like between maybe a Solitude and a Riften. Or even Markarth. Markarth, I think, is the most different city just in the fact of it's like a dwarven settlement.
Like
retrofitted.
Solitude and Whiterun have a similar vibe. They're different looking, but they feel kind of similar.
For sure. Yeah.
Like
that Nordic
Anvil
architecture.
and Leowen couldn't be more different.
No, you're right. Like Anvil feels like a classical castle type city.
I
whereas
love
like
Anvil.
it's one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
I like how the tower like sits alone. It's great. Yeah.
So the reformation of the Dragonborn happened over time, or the Dragon Guard, and they transformed into the Blade. This change marked a shift from purely martial and religious duties to more political and intelligence-based roles. The Blades became the intelligence agency, bodyguards, and secret police for the Septim Dynasty.
Secret police.
Beginning with Tiber Septim, aka Talos, in the Second Era, late 800s, tasked with the secret police, tasked with protecting the emperor and maintaining stability of the empire. They operated out of the Cloud Ruler Temple and maintained extensive espionage network throughout Tamriel. In the Elder Scrolls,
You're telling me they were the KGB, the goddamn KGB? Gooch?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was unaware.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, the Blades are in Vardenfell, and the Blades operate as in secret under Spymaster Cassius Casadus in Belmora. They assist the player in investigating the Sixth House and Dagoth Here, the Blades serve more as informants and agents embedded in society rather than open warriors. So obviously we're not going to talk about Oblivion Blades because we're kind of going through it.
Right.
Post Oblivion Crisis, though, the Blades fall into decline. If you play Skyrim, you would know that.
Yeah. Very heavily part of it.
Yeah, so with the death of Martin Septim and the end of the Septim bloodline, and thus no more Dragonborn emperors, the Blades lose their purpose. The Blades in the Fourth Era within Skyrim, so this is again 4E 201. Yeah. I didn't know how to say 200. By the time of Skyrim, the Blades have nearly been eradicated. The Great War, which happened in the Fourth Era, again, 171. Why am I like
171?
171. Like I couldn't just say it like that. I think it's because it doesn't have 4,
right,
so I'm like losing it. The Thalmor, aka the Aldmeri Dominion, see the Blades as a threat. After the White Gold Concordant, the Empire outlaws the Blades, agreeing to hunt down Talos worshippers and dismantle the Blades organization. The Blades refuse to disband and go into hiding, hunted by both the Thalmor and the Empire. In Skyrim, only a few Blades remain, including Delphine and Esbern, hiding in Riverwood and Riften. The Dragonborn helps them rebuild the Order and reopening the Skyhaven Temple. So yeah, there's a bit of a fallout after this game, and this is essentially when the Thalmor and the Aldmeri Dominion sort of seize power from the Septim Dynasty and the Empire as we know it. And that's why the High Elves and the Thalmor are like such bad guys, because they take power and they're like, nah, you can't do any of this shit anymore. Fuck you.
We don't
fuck Talos. Fuck all this shit.
You know the god that your entire like civilization was built on? Yeah, he's a false god, and you literally can't worship him. Which again, I think that's a very interesting angle to take the world in, and that is one of my favorite parts of Skyrim, that like they do set it so far ahead that they can make these kind of interesting and big swings. So yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. I think the blades are cool, and it was kind of like, I remember playing Skyrim like, oh shit, like I felt so connected to the blades before, but now like even and like getting them together, like you're like feel like you're doing the right thing, and then you get to the end and they're like,
kill Parthenax.
Right. Yeah, we killed dragons before, we're gonna do it again.
Yeah, like there's no exceptions. It's all ADAB. All dragons are bad. All right, so kill him. Please go ahead. If you want me to read it all too, please let me know.
Yeah, I'm good. Now that Martin is safe and secure, the next obvious step is to retrieve the Amulet of Kings, so that Martin can light the Dragonfires. Anticipating this course of action, Boris, remember him from the first quest, we haven't seen him in a while, the only blade present at the Emperor's assassination to survive, has been gathering intelligence in the Imperial City. The two of you are to work together to retrieve the amulet, and you can find Boris at Luther Broad's boarding house in the Elven Gardens district. So yeah, we're going to meet up with him, and we're going to find the Mythic Dawn Commentaries. So we go to the boarding house, and inside we'll find Boris drinking. One other customer, Astav Weirich, is also present in the corner behind him. Have a seat next to Boris and chat with him. In the course of his intelligence gathering, he has attracted unwanted attention and is being stalked. So suspicious of Astav, Boris formulates a sting operation. He will leave to the secluded basement in the hope that the man will follow. Sure enough, as Boris leaves, Astav follows. And when Astav discovers he has an opportunity to strike Boris down without Imperial interference, he'll summon his Mythic Dawn gear and try to assassinate him. After Astav is dead, Boris will instruct you to check his body for anything useful. You'll find a strange book entitled Mythic Dawn Commentaries, Volume 1. He will suggest that you need to talk to Tarmina, an expert of Daedric cults in the Arcane University, who may be able to tell you more about the book. I actually found Mythic Dawn Commentaries 1 through 3 before this quest. You can.
Oh, really?
You can. So anyone who is a Mythic Dawn member. Remember how we were talking about last episode, and I was bringing Joffrey and Martin around, and I got attacked by the Mythic Blade before they just attack you normally. If you take their house key, and you go to their house, you'll find that they have Mythic Dawn shit there.
Interesting.
So some of them have a few volumes, but not 4 is the only one.
You have to get through that quest, right?
Yeah. But 1, 2, and 3.
Interesting.
You can get in the world, which is
I was
cool.
unaware. Yeah.
Did you read the commentaries?
A little bit of it. Yeah.
They are the most manifesto thing.
Yeah, it's psychotic.
I watched a video, a 40-minute video, like dissecting them. And like I was like, I want to see if I can make sense of them for the podcast and kind of talk about what they're about. They are absolutely
just ramblings.
Yeah, they are insane. It's almost like Mankar Cameron is speaking like another language. Like,
right.
It's
like almost gibberish.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like these words he says in them, like even now, like outside of the game, like there is not like there's some explanation about like what his weird words are, but like not a lot.
Right.
It's weird. Mankar Cameron is a pretty weird
character. You figure out the riddle without going?
I knew it.
I had totally forgotten.
I remembered what it was.
Yeah.
It is kind of goofy because it's like the first letter
of each.
So did you figure it out on your own?
No, I had what's her name. So I know she mentioned something like it's something to do with the first letter of each word or something.
She kind of gives you clues and then
and then you can just wait after a couple days. Yeah.
So we travel to the Arcane University, talk to her about the Mythic Dawn, and find out more about this cult and its patriarch, Mankar Cameron. She says that you will need to complete the set of Mythic Dawn Commentaries, also known as a commentary on the Mysterium Xarxes, to find their headquarters. She offers you the second book, which leaves you to find the third and the fourth. You mention the Mythic Dawn cult, and she will ask, you know of them? One of the most secret of all Daedric cults. Not much is known about them. They follow the teaching of Mankar Cameron, whom they call Master, a shadowy figure in his own right. So let's talk about Mankar Cameron. He was born the illegitimate son of the Cameron usurper and his Bosmer mistress Callus Mankar. Mankar is the author of the commentaries on the Mysterium Xarxes and the founder of the Order of the Mythic Dawn, a Daedric cult dedicated to Mr. Mehrunes Dagon himself. He has 2 children who are in this game, Ruma and Raven, who you've killed by now. Raven is the person you meet in the sewers. Ruma is at the ritual.
Right.
Yeah.
Is she the one like telling you to kill the guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is gonna get weird. The commentary suggests that their creation was more of a metaphysical event. They're not born naturally. According to them, Mankar Cameron's first daughter chose to not follow in his footsteps, worshiping Dagon, and so Mankar cannibalizes her and made another, who embraced the worship of Dagon and thus earned his love. She was thus remade after initially rejecting the Dagonite path, and then Blackbirds formed her twin behind all time. Cameron appears to be a typical mage in reality. However, he and his children appear to be immortal. It is unknown for sure how old Cameron is, but it is said that he was born in the Third Era, 267, shortly after his father, Cameron the Usurper, died. So his kids are like born of like magic.
Well, it's so he had one kid who he then like killed and almost necrotized into like this new daughter
who like becomes two.
Yeah,
it's so strange.
That
but
is
like
strange.
it like in like the paradise stuff, like it's so glossed over.
Right.
Like it's so strange, and like they barely really give you any time to talk about it. But like I was like, yeah, let me I read the Mysterium Xarxes.
I like the deep dive.
The commentaries, but I was like, this is insane. And then I watched a video where somebody said, yeah, this is insane. Like I mean, which is cool because like it's a cult, right?
Yeah, he's a raving lunatic,
right? Yeah, even though he's kind of not onto something, but like there is some reality.
Well, it's like imagine
magic.
if like we've seen, especially in the 80s and 90s, there were so many cults and crazy people leading these things. Like imagine if one of them actually did have a Daedric person to actually worship.
Right.
What the fuck? Yeah. Like it's actually real.
Yeah. And and again, every Daedric prince has this kind of cult, but it seems that Mehrunes Dagon is like the villain of the Daedric princes. Like he's truly evil. Like Sheogorath.
And he wants to invade. Yeah.
Right. And he wants to
he's more there
madness.
for mischief, but like what is he the god again of Mehrunes Dagon?
Madness.
It is madness. So yeah.
Just being crazy.
So I thought madness was
Mehrunes Dagon?
Yeah.
Change.
Okay. So he wants to. I think the idea is like he is the ultimate change maker, and he wants to make Mundus into the new Oblivion.
So he wants to turn it back to the Mythic era or the Meretic era, like the first days of like the world. So again, to like recreate it in his image.
He will be the god. Yeah.
Yeah. When you show Tarmina the copy of the commentaries you took from Astav Slane's body, she'll say, "Ah, yes, commentaries on the Mysterium Xarxes. Wonderful. You have a scholarly interest in Daedric cults then." She will provide a few clues on how to find the Daedric cults. I won't poke my nose any further. Official business and all that. I'm used to working with the blades. Don't worry, say no more. In any case, finding them won't be easy. I've studied Mankar Cameron's writings a bit myself, and at least those I could find, it's clear that the text that Mankar Cameron's commentaries come in 4 volumes. But I've only ever seen the 2 first books. I believe his writings contain hidden clues to the location of Mythic Dawn's secret shrine to Dagon. Those who unlock this hidden path have proven themselves worthy to join the ranks of the Mythic Dawn cult. Finding the shrine is the first test. If you want to find them, you'll need all 4 copies. Or volumes. And finally, she'll hand you the second copy. Here, you can have the library's copy of the second volume. Treat it gently, if you please. And as I said, I've never seen the 3rd and 4th volumes. You should try first edition over in the Market District. Fintius, the proprietor, caters to specialist collectors. He may have an idea of where to locate those books. It's so nice chatting with you. Be sure to let me know how your hunt for the Mythic Dawn turns out. So we go to Fintius at the 1st edition, and we ask him about the Mysterium Xarxes. We'll say that while the books 1 and 2 are rare, books 3 and 4 are impossible to find. He does have a copy of the 3rd one, but has already been paid for by another customer, Gwynnis. As for book 4, he states that he has never seen a copy of it and absolutely no idea where to find one. So there are a few different ways to go about getting the book from him. Like you can steal it from Phintius, you can have Gwynnis get it, and you can either buy it off him or take it from him. You can buy it off of Phintius. There's a few different ways to go about it.
That's what I did. I paid him for it. It was like, I have so much money right now. That's the other thing. Oh my God.
That is sort of the one thing about this game. And I think like KCD2, breaking the economy is very easy. You just take shit and you kind of
sell it,
make yourself a bit crazy being encumbered, and just sell it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And it does. Yeah, I feel like the wage system, the economy system. Yeah, it's I wish it was better.
It's so of its time, and even just the way the menus are organized and like how everything's shuffled. It's just like your miscellaneous tab just has your keys and like everything in it. You just have to sift through it. It's so annoying.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. And it sucks. There's no like memory with like the potions thing.
No, yeah.
You have to go back down in the middle of the thing.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Excuse me.
Volume 4 can only be attained by a member of the Mythic Dawn. Gwynnis has set up a meeting of which he'll tell you the time and place with his sponsor, Raven Cameron. You must go to his place and receive the 4th and final volume. We'll go back to Boris, inform him of what has transpired, and he'll accompany you into the sewers for the meeting. And he can die here. There's a few different ways you can continue once you get to the end. I sat in his spot. Like I talked to Raven, but he can, and you can shoot them, or like vice versa. Yeah, you can kind of like.
Yeah, I did. I actually did sit down and do it. That's right.
Yeah, because I was like, nah, I want to talk.
All right. Yeah, he was like, you hang up and watch. I was like, no, I want to go in.
Yeah. And no matter how you do it, it's still, you get the volume. It doesn't really change anything. The 4th book contains a clue as to the location of the cult. Tarmina will help you, but also you'll be able to figure it out without help if you wish. The large red letters at the start of each paragraph spell out Green Emperor Way, where tower touches midday sun. So I remembered where the shrine location was, and then once I got it, I remembered, oh yeah, it's the first letters of the paragraph.
Yeah.
Which is really, like, again, just kind of funny.
No, that is fun, and I appreciate that they give you full opportunity to do it yourself. Yeah. Or if you need to help, just keep going back to the girl.
Green Emperor Way is the central district of the Imperial City where the Imperial Palace is located. So if you're going strictly by the clue from the books, you should wait nearly midday, look to where the white gold tower blocks the sun, find the point where the tip of the tower touches the middle of the sun, and you should be standing right in front of the tomb of Prince Camaril, where a set of red runes are glowing to reveal the location of the Mythic Dawn Shrine. You click to activate the tomb, and that's where the quest will advance. I had a thing about the information on the commentaries, which I already talked about. So we'll go to the Dagon Shrine. We've tracked the Mythic Dawn to Lake Arius Cavern, north of Shadenhall, and a doorkeeper will let you in and if you give him the correct phrase, which you can't fuck up. You can only give him the correct one.
See, that's, again, just real quick.
In Skyrim, this would have been different.
No, actually, I think Skyrim, they would have just given you it. In KCD, you would have 3 separate, but similar things.
Like, what if you could, you just see him, you cut him down, and then you just go in? I'm sure
think
you can
do
kill
that.
I'm sure you can actually kill him, but you can't attack him within dialogue.
Well, and I did get, I when he was like, give me all your stuff, and we can go, and I was like, nah.
Oh, okay.
And then,
so do you fight your way through?
I just fought my way through, but then I was like, I actually don't like this. I want to get the full
You do
thing.
the same thing.
So I went back. I reloaded, and yeah, you just basically do the same thing, but they take all your weapons, and you get to see the full display of what's going on.
Yeah, you can so when you get in there, does Mankar Cameron just disappear?
Yeah, I think he's just
he's
he gets the point. Yeah, he's
fucker.
I must flee. Yeah, so you don't get his whole diatribe, which I like
which
hearing.
again, that actually his diatribe actually makes sense here. Before, because I know in Paradise he talks a lot.
Right.
So I'm really interested to see that is most of fucking Terrence Stamp is just monologuing as you're walking through Paradise.
Chancellor Valoran himself, Gooch. What are we gonna do here?
Chancellor Valoran.
Yeah.
From what? What's
From
that?
Star Wars, Gooch. Episode 1. He's Chancellor before Palpatine is.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Dude. I love how Terrence Stamp
classic
has just
Chancellor Valoran
keep coming up in our podcast.
He's great, man.
because he's in a Zod too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
He has a prosthetic leg as Zod. He lost his leg. I didn't realize that. I think he does in Obviously does later in his life too, but yeah.
Wait, like Terrence Stamp?
Yeah, he's like missing his right foot, I believe. I don't know why, but yeah.
Maybe that can be like a fun fact.
Yeah, probably.
Are we going to review Superman 2?
Yeah, at some point. Yeah, who knows, maybe.
So this guy, Harrow, will lead your way to the ceremony, which is already in progress, directed by Mr. Mankar Cameron himself. After a short speech, Mankar will disappear into a magical portal to paradise, his realm. Unfortunately, he will also take the Amulet of Kings with him. So this is the speech. The dragon throne is empty, and we hold the Amulet of Kings. Praise be to your brothers and sisters. Great shall be their reward in paradise. Hear now the words of Lord Dagon. When I walk the earth again, the faithful among you shall receive your reward, to be set above all other mortals forever. As for the rest, the weak shall be winnowed, the timid shall be cast down, and the mighty shall tremble at my feet and pray for pardon. Your reward, brothers and sisters, this time of cleansing draws nigh. I go now to paradise. I shall return with Lord Dagon and the coming of the dawn. Once Mankar gets away, your new target should be the Mysterium Xarxes, because it may aid you and Martin in retrieving the amulet. At this point, you'll be introduced to a new initiate to Ruma Cameron, Mankar's daughter, and she'll ask you to perform the ritual of sacrifice of Gelius, an Argonian priest. You may choose to either agree or refuse to perform it. If you refuse, the cultists will immediately turn on you. Since you're weaponless and vastly outnumbered, this will prove pretty difficult, and you'll have several choices at this point. So, like, keeping him alive is pretty fucking hard too.
I kept him alive.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but my magic, I'm high destruction, so I've been using a lot of magic this playthrough. So without my weapons, I was still fine.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
those
he
Wakeland
died for
Stone
me.
gooch. Oh man. Oh, those are the shit.
Yeah. So, and like, if he lives or dies, doesn't really matter. It doesn't really make a difference. He goes back to he lives in the Imperial City, and I think he's a Talos priest. But yeah, he'll like go back and he'll have his whole cycle. So no matter which option you choose, you take the Mysterium Xarxes and escape. There are several. There are many cultists, as many as 15 in the living quarters, whom all have to be killed or avoided to make it out. Taking the time to check out the chests and other containers can be worthwhile, because they may contain good loot, but if taken, they are considered stolen, even if there's no red-handed indication. Have you run into NPCs who are archers who have more arrows than you know what to do with?
Yeah, sometimes some of them it'll be like 5 different types of arrows, then 100 like dwarven arrows and stuff like that. Yeah,
and then there are people in one of the Daedric shrines who I found like 97 strong. Like, I'm like,
I found that that too.
What is that?
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's just a specific dungeon. These characters were given a lot of good arrows. I think it's just like
it's so strange
Yeah.
because I think it like breaks the game. Like,
yeah,
you just got 100 potions.
Yeah, I was getting the arrows, especially with me with the archery. I appreciated that because I don't feel like I was getting them a lot, and they cost a stupid amount of money to buy them.
Yeah.
So I think
really?
that especially if you want to get the nicer ones, like they're for like 20 arrows, like dwarven arrows, it's probably like 500 coins or something stupid like that. That's probably an exaggeration, but. Yeah. Again, the economy in this is kind of fun.
Did you max Mercantile out?
Yeah, I'm close. I'm like, because just selling stuff is so easy. Like once you start selling the high stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and then you invest. But what sucks is like it doesn't seem like the shops actually have enough to give you ever for some of those items.
So you can. Have you been able to invest yet?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Still
even with
enough.
that, you haven't had enough. Really?
Like some of the Daedric heavy sets are expensive.
Usually, more than like 1,600 they're giving you for them. Really?
Okay.
Okay. I'd have
some
to
of
look
them
at
are worth like 2,000 plus. I'm
like
curious.
I've seen that in the thing, but usually like what they'll offer for it is like 12 or so. I'd have to go back and look. I'm curious.
I'm curious what shop has the most.
I feel like the Imperial City ones seem to me to have the most.
Like 2,000.
Yeah, 2,000, 2,400 almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still have the fucking stupid quest for the tower to like buy everything, even though I bought everything. It's not.
Oh, that's the worst, dude.
It's so annoying.
I ran into a few bugs. One of them, the quest in Leowyn where you have to go to the island with the guy and he tricks you? That bugged for me. I killed him and it never said he died, so I just killed his wife and I ended the quest. I was like, you get like a reward, and I was like, just fucking cut her down in her house.
It's annoying.
Like, get rid of the quest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm running into the kind of regular Oblivion
I've had
stuff,
a few crashes here and there.
Oh, for sure. But for the most part, I haven't really run into anything like game breaking at all.
When you finally make it outside, you head toward Cloud Ruler Temple. With the Mysterium Xarxes, Martin may be found in the Great Hall, and he will take the Mysterium Xarxes, and he believes it may hold the key to opening the portal to find Cameron, but he'll need some time to safely do it. He will also tell you more about his past. I love when he takes the book, he like freaks out when you give it to him.
He's like, ugh, I don't think we should have this, but
Like, whoa!
Yeah. It's like, you have this? Wait, you got this? Yeah. It's insane. Oh God, you shouldn't have your hands on this.
Yeah. So he will also tell you more about his past, dabbling in Daedric magic. I put aside the dark arts when I became a priest, but the workings of fate may be seen in this too. The gods can turn anything to good, or so I piously told those who came to see me for advice. Perhaps I may yet come to believe it myself. Interesting sentence. Like he's a priest. He's telling these people to believe, but he doesn't believe himself. Very interesting.
And I think it's almost more like this event is putting it into like picture form. He's like, maybe I didn't believe as much as I thought I did, but now I have to. Like, it's interesting.
Yeah. He is also clear-minded about the Oblivion crisis. It is clear to me now that the only way to stop the Oblivion invasion is to relight the Dragonfires. Emperor, Amulet, and Dragonfire. With these divine gifts, the Daedra of Oblivion have been kept at bay for thousands of years. While the Dragonfires burned the divine barriers that kept the Daedra from making more than fleeting visits to our world. But the Dragonfires can only be relit by an heir of the Septim bloodline, wielding the Amulet of Kings. This was the essence of Mankar Cameron's plot. He was undone only by the merest chance. But his complete victory remains perilously close. We must recover the Amulet of Kings, relight the Dragonfires before it's too late to stem Dagon's invasion. He will choose to converse. He will close the conversation with, I hope to have at least part of the Mysterium Xarxes translated in a few days. Speak to Joffrey in the meantime. So there's a quick little quest called Spies. And basically there are Mythic Dawn members in Bruma watching you guys. It's pretty quick quest, but actually the ending and like what you find out from that person is pretty big. Mm-hmm. This quest, like this is an example of a quest where I totally forgot about. Yeah, just like and
it was so quick and like you almost get it done in like 2 minutes. Yeah, not even like it took me no time at all. You just it's funny. There are certain things this game will tell you, and certain things it won't that baffle me. Like that one felt like it, like that.
Where you have to go ask around.
Yeah, like that directed me right to the thing that you just had to go to and talk to the person and kill them, and that was it. And then you go through the dungeon underneath their house, and then I feel like other ones, it's like lifting the veil. Like it's like go to this place, and it's trying to direct you more. And I'm like, I would like to see a balance more. Of
read the note, figure it out.
Like I don't know. It's where they choose to do that and choose not to do that. Confuse me.
The
sometimes.
problem is like going into your menu, reading the note. Like the game makes it kind of difficult to like be immersed in it.
I agree.
Which is like the point, and where I get conflicted of like I wish I was more immersed in this and not just kind of like barreling through.
And I think that's partly of just it being an older game. It's much easier to get immersed in. I feel like games these days, even in something like Skyrim. Like it's just a different time. So.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about spies. Joffrey tells you the gate guards have seen strangers along the road near the temple for the past few nights, and Joffrey wants you to find them. Speak to Captain Stefan for more details. And Stefan says the spies have been seen near the runestone at the bottom of the hill near dusk. Long and short of it is you can ask around Bruma to find out Geralt recently returned back to Bruma with someone who doesn't live in Bruma. This person has been seen standing near the windows of Geralt's home. You tell the guards what you know, and they'll let you enter her home and deal with it. You kill them both and enter her basement to find the following message from Ruma Cameron. The master was pleased to hear of your activities outside Coral. The more gates that we open, the nearer we are to the glorious cleansing. So interesting to know that like the Mythic Dawn, like the people in the Mythic Dawn are actually opening the gates. They're not just opening them from the other side, like people are doing it. So they're going there, doing something, and opening gates. And there's a shit ton of them, which I'm curious to hear, like, what in canon, like, what's the canon amount of, like, gates that were open?
I'm sure there's something
tons of them, like, there's a lot.
And I think more open throughout the game, too. So...
Yeah. They don't all open at the same time. The master has chosen you and Savari for a most crucial mission, a sign of your advancement through the ranks of the chosen. You've learned the Septim Heir. We have learned the Septim Heir has gone to ground at Cloud Ruler Temple, the lair of the accursed blades. The master has made its destruction top priority for the Order, and Lord Dagon has committed whatever resources are required. Pending your report on the Septum's activities at Cloud Ruler Temple and your assessment of the temple's defenses and possible routes of escape, we plan to open a Great Gate in the opening ground before Bruma as soon as possible. Remember, the first 3 lesser gates represent only preliminary stages of Great Gate deployment. Do not in any way compromise your cover in the defense of these gates. New ones can be quickly and easily reopened. Once the Great Gate is opened, the fall of Bruma is assured. Cloud Ruler Temple cannot stand long after that, and the Septum will be caught like a rat in a trap. We would welcome any further details you can offer concerning the Imperial agent who rescued Martin from Kvatch, but again, we caution you, do not risk a confrontation. This individual is not to be trifled with. The dawn is breaking. So I don't remember that at all. So I must have, like, as a kid, picked up the note, not read that at all. I didn't know that, like, the Great Gate planning was happening like this early on.
I didn't know either. Yeah. No,
So
I think that's an interesting layer to kind of add to it.
Yeah, yeah. That they're like, they kind of hint that Mankar Cameron seems to be one step ahead, but like they kind of are one step ahead. Like they're gonna, this Great Gate is like, seems to be like step 2 of the plan. Like,
right.
We know where he's hiding. We're gonna open the biggest gate we can, the Great Gate deployment. Very interesting, like vernacular.
That's good.
Like, yeah, it's like much more organized than you think, or that I thought.
Definitely. Well, and I think that's something as like we're playing this as adults with a bit more understanding on certain things. We're like, oh, these connect to this. Oh, wow, yeah.
So we'll report this news to Joffrey, and then we'll need to speak with Martin again to make progress on the Xarxes. So that's where we would do the Daedric artifact stuff. But that's it. And now we'll, continue to talk about some stuff. So when you find all the Daedric artifacts, you get the Hermaeus Mora one.
Right.
Which is, again, to kill all 10 races, which I did, and you get the Og Infinium.
Oh, that's the same quest? I didn't realize that.
Same exact quest.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah. So a lot of the quests are somewhat, some of them are recycled. So, like, the Hermaeus Mora being the one. But I don't remember doing this quest back in the day.
I don't either.
It's also pretty buggy. If you're doing it and you kill, so my last guy was a wood elf. I needed a wood elf. And I soul captured him and it wouldn't count. So you have to soul capture somebody who isn't him and then soul capture the race you need and then it counts.
That's odd.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're soul capturing them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so in Skyrim
you take their blood. Yeah.
In this you get a lot of unique spells in this game.
You do.
Yeah.
I mean, the spells in general are much more kind of fleshed out, I feel like, for sure.
I think there's too much.
I was going to say, that's also true,
It's a bit overwhelming, and then you can make your own, which is cool.
Right.
But, I think you're only doing that to be, to kind of, cheat.
Kind of, and
You're
also
you're making ridiculous spells to just fuck everybody
But I don't even
up.
know how to use them too, because I don't have enough magic to use a lot of these spells.
Me
even
either.
When you're high enough, I have my intelligence all the way up. And,
Same.
And
I was wondering the same thing.
So I don't know what exactly will change that. And I know you get buffs as certain races and stuff like that, but there are certain spells you need a lot of magic for. And I think they lessen as you get better in that school. But I don't know. It's confusing.
Yeah, but do you have to start as a magic wielder to get that? To get that? I am. My destruction and mysticism is in my.
What race are you?
Breton.
They might have a magical buff of some kind. You'd have to go into their.
Yeah, they do.
What is it?
But. Oh, wait, what do you mean?
I know high elves get extra 50 pool of magic and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's, I don't know what the Bretons is, but.
Yeah, I think they have a bigger pool, but again, it's just some of these spells.
They're very weirdly.
I have intelligence up to 80. I don't have enough. You can only get to 100.
And then there are only certain, illusions hard to get up too, because there are only certain spells you can use for it. And it's
you just have to keep casting.
Yeah, you just have to keep,
which is lame because it's sort of like Locke was saying on our KCD podcast, I like the fact that you have to use the stuff to increase it, but illusion magic is so specific.
Right.
You're there's no way you're naturally getting
destruction's easy because you're just using it all the time. You're attacking everyone, so
yeah. What do you think about, we're talking about spells. What do you think about, do you remember, are the spell books new?
I don't know. I don't remember using them, but I think they have been there.
I don't remember them at all.
I don't know, because there are a lot of things I didn't take. Alchemy Gooch, I never touched at all before. I didn't know how to use it. I didn't realize it was just in the menus like that.
I don't remember, honestly.
I never touched it before this. Oh.
No, it's okay. Water bottle just fell off the table.
Yeah, but I'm closed, so we're good. Yeah, there's definitely things, I think just a lot in this that, as a younger player myself, I just didn't comprehend and didn't really dive into. There's a lot of enemies I didn't know existed. I've never seen that Demora, the blue demon guy, but
the Zivial,
the Zivia or whatever.
Yeah, you've never seen him, really? Like, I remember him, but I'm like, oh wow,
No.
yeah, okay. Like, I saw him and instantly recognized. They're like the Minotaurs. I don't
remember the spider Daedra at all. And I don't know if I just wasn't getting up to these levels like that, like where these people spawn. I don't know. So it's cool to see all these different, interesting enemies. And I think that is a very strong point of this game. There are a lot of samey dungeons, but I at least appreciate that there's a pretty good amount of enemy variety.
Yeah. Like creatures and like random stuff. Like,
exactly.
I don't really like the bandits. I think they're just... I have a problem with just like bandits in video games. They're such an easy enemy. I feel like I just kind of like want more to them than just bandits. Like,
I'm not necessarily against just having like a bandit enemy,
right? Like,
but
makes sense.
Spice it up maybe. Like, and I do think they get kind of specific in certain dungeons and stuff like that,
like the black bows with the Mazoga.
Yeah. So, aside from that, I agree though, for sure. A little bit more.
I found
spice.
it interesting. Like, I did Mazoga's quest in Leyawen. So now at this point, I've been to every town. It took me a while, but I've been through every town. Mazoga's quest is pretty interesting because you become like a Knight of the White Stallion, which is like a random faction that's in your list that means nothing. It's kind of like being the Order of Virtuous Blood. There's one quest with it and unlocks the vendor for you to sell the vampire dust, which is a great way to make money early in game. But like, it's like cool, but like, okay,
it's just a quick quest.
Like,
really.
It's real flavor.
It's surprising that they do add it like to your list like that. That's I think what makes it like a little confusing. Where you're like,
it's like, what does
it
this
feels
mean?
like there should almost be more because you are making it a full on faction. I didn't realize how many factions there were in like Daggerfall and things like that. There were just random clubs and stuff. I mean, that was all.
Have you been watching Daggerfall?
I was watching some stuff on it, and just like, it is wild how like technically savvy you would have had to be to play that game back then. It's so crazy. Definitely worth looking into.
I mean, I feel like that's, again, when you're talking about us being older, we have that savviness now. We didn't when we were kids.
Yeah.
Like, there was like a savviness of video games we just didn't have because we didn't have the experience.
Just mechanics you can't understand. I mean, I said this before. I tried Oblivion twice before I actually liked it. No, I tried it once, and I was just confused, and I didn't understand where I was going. I got to an Oblivion gate and kept dying, and I was like, I'm done. And then I don't know why. I saw someone else play it. Maybe it was my cousin, and I was like, oh, that's what this can be. I didn't really, like, someone showed me.
You don't go into the first town and kill her.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what a concept.
Exactly.
Before I dip back into my notes, anything from your notes you want to bring up?
No, nothing really specific. Kind of a lot of stuff I covered at the beginning. I just think the dungeons and the quests are really kind of wearing a little bit thinner on me than I remembered. I'm really excited to get into Shivering Isles. I just want to kind of check that out and get a little bit.
I'm going to do
flavor.
Knights of the Nine before I beat the story, but I think, like, it's, again, I don't want to keep harking on it. It's very hard to organize.
To decide, right, yeah.
Did you max any skills out yet? Like, I did blade, armor, heavy
Destruction's maxed out, I believe. My sneak isn't maxed, but it's pretty close. My bow is pretty up there. Not a ton of max, but very, very high leveled stuff.
Yeah,
sure.
And that's where I was going back to where I'm like, I feel like over leveled. Like, I got over leveled very quickly.
The leveling balance, it's like...
I cannot believe 30 is the max.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's like disappointing.
I'm going to make sure that's true. I'm very confident it is.
I was wondering myself. I was like, I wonder what level I was when I was fucking playing. And then I feel like I've kind of hit like, oh, I have the Daedric set. I have the highest in the game. And like, I think the Daedric set looks gaudy as shit.
Oh yeah, and even the I feel like the glass kind of does. It's super high fantasy in my opinion. To a degree, that's a little over. I
skinned it with the premium like Order of Time skin. Yeah.
What was I just looking up?
Max level in Skyrim
right?
Oblivion. I noticed one thing in one of the caves that I've never seen before. There was like a pile of like worms. in a cave.
Really?
And they were just like really low res, like it's just like a pile of worms. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, apparently there isn't a max level.
Oh, good.
Normally it caps out in mid 40s to early 50s. I've used an exploit in the jail, blah, 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 yeah.
Huh. I guess there's a point where it becomes really difficult, just like Skyrim.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just hit max level. Like, you can only level up to the point of where you level up every single ability. So I guess there would be an eventual ceiling. And I know in Skyrim, you can, like... You can master levels, too, where you, like, almost prestige it.
Oh.
Yeah,
so
and you can redo it.
There's an achievement in Skyrim that you have to basically use the Ogdom Infinium glitch to get. I forget what it is. It's one of the last achievements I got, but it's just like there's no way to like naturally like once you get to like 60, 70, it is impossible to like get past that level. I don't like that. Like I don't mind hitting a ceiling, but like don't make it impossible for me to level.
It's tough because like when you're doing it this way, you almost like I said, you will eventually have to hit a ceiling because you leveled everything up. But when you get to something, I don't know, like The Witcher that I'm playing, it has a very much a set amount of levels I feel like you can get to.
But the pacing is better.
And that's the other thing. So it comes down to like, those are also scaled, or unscaled, whereas like you have areas that you go to that will always be the same level, no matter how high you get. Whereas in this, everything just scales to you wherever you're going. So that can affect it in and of itself.
So for one of the Daedric Shrines, I had to make a black soul gem.
Oh yeah, I did that one too.
I don't remember this process at all, and I found it a bit annoying.
That's one of those things where I'm like, you're not really telling me, like, and I guess it was I read the book eventually, but I lost the book, so I had to reload the save to read it again.
Oh really? I just looked it up online.
Well, I saw it said
it's very intuitive.
And it's very, at least in the like book that you have to read like in the game, like that gives you the instructions. I was like, oh, this makes sense.
Is this for the Mages Guild?
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't get there yet. I know there's a thing with the Mages Guild with this. But you need to make a black soul gem as an offering for one of the Daedric Shrines. So make sure you have one.
So I already got that. I think I used the black soul gem I got from that on the quest. So
yeah. I think it's cool, but like again, I waited there for like a month, and I'm like, dude, now my time's all fucked up, and I don't like that.
Mine's totally fucked because I didn't realize it did this with Skyrim either. Like when you put it on rest, it just continues the time clock.
Yeah.
So like, you have to, like,
I have like 70 hours, but like I feel like it's not accurate.
Mine says 120, and it's not. It's really like,
oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's just because I had it on rest one night, so I don't know. I can't remember how much the PlayStation timer says I have right now. I think I'm at like 100 or something like that. But, I've been putting in the time for sure. It's been great. I don't have any really major other notes on the quests aside from just some of them are The Fighters Guild, I'm not loving this time around.
I'm saving it for last because I remember it was one of the first ones. So I'm going to do Thieves Guild, Dark Brotherhood, Mages Guild, Fighters Guild.
Dark Brotherhood's fantastic. One of I think my favorite quest line so far.
Yeah, I did the Thieves Guild first because I did it last the first time I played.
I like it. Yeah.
But I think they're experienced best doing them straight through. I don't think leaving the quest to meander and doing other things in between, I think it kind of like sucks a bit away from everything.
I agree. I think it's definitely going to be a case-by-case basis for people, but I tend to agree. I like to just kind of go through and be like, all right, I'm focusing on Dark Brotherhood now. I might do some like side quests in the meantime, like if I'm at a town and someone gives me something small. Yeah.
But now that I've been to every town, like for the next quest, I'm going to finish the Thieves Guild for sure, or next episode. And then we'll have, I forget where we're doing up to for the next episode, but the plan, I don't know if I said this on the podcast. I said it before we recorded, but I think we're going to aim for 4 or 5 episodes of this and then be done with it. And the last episode I think will be Knights of the Nine and Shivering Isles.
I like it, yeah.
And then, like, I wanted to include fun facts, but, like, I don't know where to do it. Maybe we'll just save it for the end.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
Like, just gotta get fun facts for everything.
Do the fun facts on the review stuff like you were saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I like it.
Yeah, sort of a wrap-up. But, yeah, I think that does it for us. That's
Absolutely.
Another day in Cyrodiil.
Another day in Cyrodiil. We're happy you were all here with us. If you've been here with us streaming live on twitch.tv/Delco Network, we do that, usually every Sunday. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Network on your service of choice. We got a Facebook page, a Discord channel, all that good stuff will be linked down below. We are at Delco Nerds on everything with an @ sign. You can find this information on our website, delconerdnetwork.com. You can even email us your comments, questions, or concerns to delconerds@gmail.com. We would be happy to get back to you. But for Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy. We will see you next time.